Madhouse Podcasting Network.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Behind the Mask, and we are here with none other than Tim Dennison and Merry Imagination, Knott's Network. Dude, you guys, thank you so much for coming on. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor.
I've been seeing your guys' stuff, and obviously everybody else has too, but I'll say we have all been seeing your stuff for a long time. The one thing which is interesting, we started doing this forum just so we can kind of get a little bit more insight and not have to ask. I won't say I have to ask so many questions, but to kind of let you guys and let people give us a little bit more of a deeper insight on certain things. I had no idea that you guys were going on 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, that's it's inspiring. First off. Because I think it's rad that you guys are totally covering everything from theme parks and, you know, the haunt events. But we'll get into everything. But first question I'm going to ask you guys is, and I think this will probably be more towards Tim, I'm presuming, based off of your guys' questionnaire. What made you start Knott's Network?
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. I actually didn't start it. Somebody else did.
Okay.
And he basically, I remember I just started going to Knott's like at least once a week, and then just seeing from their regular Knott's Berry Farm page, I would see somebody comment on pictures here and there called Knott's Network, and I would go on there, and it was basically a Facebook page, which was a fan page dedicated to just, at the time it was just Knott's Berry Farm that it was mainly dedicated to. And so I told him, I'm like, hey man, I'm there like every week. He didn't actually live very close. I think he lived more near Magic Mountain area.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, I go once in a while and I notice things like crazy, and I'm gone. Anyways, I noticed things like crazy, and
I'm sorry, I keep laughing because you guys.
I know, I'm trying not to laugh, but I can't help
You guys
it.
keep fading in and out. It's cracking me up.
I do hyper.
And
Anyways, okay.
let me introduce you to Ghost Tim.
Yes, I'm gonna disappear throughout this whole thing, you guys. But where was I? So yeah,
You
I
go
was
all
like,
week.
yeah, I'll send you some pictures. You know, I noticed changes there and everything, and basically he would post them once in a while, and then after one time I think I just went crazy and was just sending him a lot of stuff, and he just eventually he's like, here, I'll just make you an admin.
That's
and
cool.
He made me an admin, and then that was, you know, the rest is kind of history. He basically was like, yeah, here's all the emails for everything. I'm over it, dude.
Oh,
You know?
he just handed it over.
Yeah, and not too long ago, I actually talked to him. He messaged me on my personal Instagram account, and he's like, I don't know if you remember me, but remember that I started that thing? And I'm like, of course I remember you. How do I not? I never even met the guy, actually. That's the funny part.
Wow.
It's like, dude, you've changed my life.
Yeah.
Because of your page, I know so many cool people. I've met so many amazing people over the years.
Yeah.
I would have never in a million years thought I'd be close with management at a theme park.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the fact that you guys are so, you know, you're so, you're fans, but you guys are so good about how you cover things, you know, it's great to see that. You know, there's very few people out there that do it at that same level that are just passionate about theme parks and haunts in general.
Yeah.
And you guys bring that.
And that's the key. It's passion. You see that in your videos. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of theme park people that I follow, and you see the passion as well, but you guys are like genuinely excited. And it's cool because like me personally, same thing with Scott, like we have a deep history with Knott's Berry Farm, let alone haunt. And it's like to be able to see, you know, fellow Knotzers, I guess you can call them,
Not
have that same love and passion for the farm is remarkable, and that's why we wanted you guys on here for sure, you know.
Thank you guys.
So Mary,
Yeah.
how did you get involved?
How did I get involved?
Yeah, what's the story? What's the story?
Give us
Story?
We want the
Give us
dirt
this-
on you too.
Did you just see Tim and was like, ah, That's it. I'm done.
Stars and I started twinkling.
I mean,
Oh,
how
Tim.
deep are deep? Basically, for like Knott's network wise, like, so we started dating, and then he's like, hey, you want to help me? Because before Knott's network, I was doing Fright Zone and Fright Zone forums, and Fright Zone and Fright Zone forums was mostly just exclusively like covering Scary Farm, haunted attractions here in Southern California, and horror events such as like horror movie screenings and stuff like that, just like
Okay.
little things in the community. And so Tim's like, hey, you want to help? I'm like, sure, yeah, I love to help with Dots Network. So I did that, and the ball just
Well, and then at the time, I was starting to like go, okay, as much as I love just posting about Knott's Berry Farm, I want people to see that I actually love theme parks and other haunted things, just not Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at first, it took the followers a while to get used to it, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's still once in a while I get a few of them that go, "This wasn't Knott's Berry Farm" or whatever. But that's usually the people that I don't think have been following the page for years.
Right.
Because if they've been following it for a good while, they would know that we do go to other places besides just
Yeah.
Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, and I feel them because I remember when you guys started posting other things, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, I'm sure. it threw off
Traitors!
people at
Traitors!
first.
They're
Oh, yeah.
traitors!
It was fun trying to, especially
would've
with
laughed.
the monsters were very funny at Scary Farm. Actually, we would they would do jokes at us when we would go to like Queen Mary, and we would talk about it, and then we would go back to Scary Farm another night, and then like as we would leave, they go, "We don't have any." What would they say? Something funny.
oh, we don't have any ghosts on our
Ghost stories.
Ghost
here or
stories
something.
here.
They had
Yeah, I
something
remember
funny
that.
They were saying. We were just cracking up. It's
Was
all,
it Antho who said that? Someone, I think it
remember.
was someone we knew.
but yeah.
This sounds like
They're
something Antho would say.
We don't have ghost
me.
stories here.
That's right.
something funny.
So basically, what it comes down to is, Tim, you threw out the bait with the haunt stuff, and that's how you reeled Mary in.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, we'll do other haunt stuff, and I'm like, I got a few, media access to some of these things. She's like, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you guys want to like exclusive fun fact for this podcast only.
We do.
So with Fright Zone, I covered March Madness, which was at Scary Farm, where it's a gathering of Scary Farm monsters and fans. And Tim was there, and then I'm like, Tim, can I interview you? He's like, sure. And
Yeah,
so
this is a long time.
I interviewed you like as Knott's Network for my YouTube channel, and then he's like, later on he messages me, Mary, please don't put the interview in the
I
video.
was too shy to do videos back like earlier on in the earlier days of Knott's Network. I would do them, but I just didn't show myself so much. I
Yeah.
didn't really I didn't mind talking too much, but that's even then. I've gotten louder over the years of doing it.
Yeah, but that's
Relax a
why
little.
that's why it tripped me out when I saw your forum. I was like, oh, I kind of put it together. And I'm like, wow, Tim's the one that started this. That's crazy because I
Yeah.
only knew Mary for the most part, and then I saw that that you were coming in more often, and I'm like, oh, they must be dating, I guess. So she found herself a catch. Cool, And so I think it's pretty cool to have that kind of twist in the story. I guess.
I just assumed from the first time I saw you guys, I just assumed you guys were dating.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't start really hanging out until we started dating. So, I mean,
So you guys.
before we knew each other before, but through TPA.
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 Yeah, TPA.
Just want to make sure I'm saying the right abbreviation.
Yeah, TPA, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rick West.
Yeah.
TPA. Yes, that's where I think originally that's where I met Mary, and or I knew of her there, and then I think we ran into each
He
other.
probably heard me. I'm
yeah,
so
the
loud.
screaming. The Mary screams. It's tamed down over the years, everybody.
Oh.
So did it
That's
kind of
great.
reverse, Tim? You said you're getting louder and Mary's getting quiet.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's what it sounds
No,
like.
yeah. Sometimes she thinks I'm so loud. She's like, "Oh my God, you're so loud right now." I'm like, "No, I'm not. You're loud." What are
I'm
you
like,
talking
those
about?
people who just turned around and looked at you, they heard you.
I'm like, they didn't hear me.
He's like, I'm whispering.
I'm whispering.
That's funny. I heard that. Was that somebody's chime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody forgot to go silent.
Someone,
I'm sorry.
someone's popular.
That's okay. I used to do that in the beginning quite often. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen like the first few podcasts. It was constantly like telling Scott, dude, seriously, turn your volume off.
yeah, I forget, you know?
So let's get into Eve some more information that I don't know if anybody else knows, but I definitely didn't know. And again, I'm barely now soaking my feet back into the haunt industry. I have been for a bit, but I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff throughout the years since I've become a monster and done the mask stuff. But I have been watching you guys, and I seriously thought you guys were just you were just doing the news and just covering, the events. I had no idea that you were monsters, or at least Mary.
Yes.
I didn't know that either.
That I was completely blown away by that. So tell us about
The background.
It's the well, so tell us about your being scary people. Let's hear about your guys' journey on that.
Who wants to go first?
Eeny,
There
meeny,
you go
miny, mo.
first.
Ladies first.
I began haunting in 2012 with Sinister Point Haunted Attractions. Do you guys remember Sinister Point,
Yes.
or would you guys like me to give you a rundown?
No,
okay,
we remember
cool.
Sinister Point.
Yes, and I've been with them all throughout this time, and more towards like in recent years, I would help them like with different like little mini events, but still haunting and still scaring and still building.
Nice.
I would scare. I would remember. Geez, sorry. I just like Sinister Point. So yeah, all throughout the years, I would scare. I would help with build. I would work different events with them, and yeah.
How did that come about? Like,
The-
what got them, or what got you to work with them and connect with them?
Well, if we're gonna really go into it, I found out about Sinister Point Haunted Attractions through my friend group at the time. It was an HHN fan group that we all just loved HHN, and they all kept posting, oh my gosh, there's this place called Sinister Point Haunted Attractions. They do horror movie nights, and it's like immersive, and it's super cool. I'm like, horror movie nights? So I missed the first one, which was House of a Thousand Corpses, and then I found out about another one coming up. It was Evil Dead 2, and I'm like, hey, this is around my birthday. Maybe for my birthday, let's all go to Sinister Point together and see Evil Dead 2. And everyone's like, yeah. So we all went to Sinister Point. It was my 16th birthday, I believe, and we all went to Sinister Point, saw Evil Dead 2. And then I'm like, wow, Sinister Point's awesome. This is so cool, because they had Ash running around with a chainsaw.
Oh, that's cool.
During the movie. It was so much fun. And then I'm like, I gotta check out more Sinister Point. And so during the summer, they opened up their haunt to like partially, and then you get to experience it. And I experienced Sinister Point for the first time that summer, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. Because what I loved about Sinister Point is how immersive it is, and it was, and how they made you perform fear tasks and stopped every so often in the maze, and like there's different pathways. I'm like, this is so cool. And so that haunt season, I was 16, by the way, so I applied and I auditioned, and then I got in.
Nice. Very cool.
And you just kind of rolled from there.
Yes.
So
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong. Are they the ones that used to be in the Berea
Yes.
movie theater?
Brea, it was I think they've done Silent Hill many years ago in the movie theater.
They
I
did
believe
Saw
so.
as well.
They did
Yes.
Saw too. I
They did
remember
Saw,
I
yeah.
went that year when they did Saw.
So yeah.
Yes.
I haven't gone to their current. I don't know if it's changed, but the warehouse location. I haven't gone to that. But I did.
Where
go to
are
their-
they located now?
They don't have a permanent location right now.
So do they have something set up for this coming season yet or no?
We don't know.
Gotcha. So what about you, Tim?
I didn't really start scaring so much until more recent years. I was more of the behind the scenes type and the fan of it.
Okay.
I went to the first time I went to Scary Farm was in the late 90s, and
I
it
think
was
I think on your notes you said 96.
yeah, mid 90s.
Yeah.
And
That was my first year in Ghost Town.
That was my first year at Haunt, period.
I think I was 13, maybe 14,
Okay.
and oh, I'm disappearing.
You're-
And yeah, I think I lasted 2 mazes till I went tapped out. But it was really fun. It was a lot different then. I mean, obviously the monsters could hide at different spots. It was a little scarier. Like
Right.
the bushes and they would hide around trash cans. You would think they were part of the decorations sometimes, but
Right.
let's see. So that was the first time, but I was more into decorating at home a lot, yard displays and stuff like that.
okay.
And what else? I'm more like AV technician. I like building and stuff like
Right.
that, making this props and
So what?
So, so
Go-
what made you cross over into going into the scaring aspect of it?
just to try it,
Really?
basically. Yeah.
And then you
Were
got
traumatized
hooked.
and said, "I have to do this to others now."
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta try this and see what it looks like on the other end. And yeah, it's fun. The whole time in my head, it's like when you do, somebody drops the ground, you think in your head, okay, don't laugh because kind of kills it then. But you're inside, you're just going, wow, they dropped to the ground.
I think you just saw all the fun Mary's having, and like, I need to get in on this big time.
Yeah. Because
It's
when
fun.
we were working at this one together, I was more behind the scenes. I didn't really scare there so much, so I got to watch her a lot scare, and I was like, "Oh, this looks fun."
Yeah.
That's
actually,
Okay,
to-
so she
do it.
provided some inspiration for that.
pretty much, yeah. Otherwise, I probably would have never scared at all. Honestly,
I remember him coming through Sinister Point several times in the past.
She was oogling him every time it came through.
And chasing
Good
him,
old Sinister
chasing him down
Point.
the halls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim, your big thing is staying behind the scenes. You did it because she inspired you to do it. But Mary, from when you went from being character to now going more on the other side of filming and getting the news out about these events, what was it that actually made you decide I want to do this route more as opposed to being character?
Well, honestly, I still love being a character. Like, I will still do it to this day, but I love sharing the news of everything, all the haunts in Southern California, because I feel like I've heard so many times throughout the years, like when people say, "Hey, oh no, I missed that audition. I didn't know that was happening," or "I didn't know this was happening." And I love getting the information out there because I love this community so much, and I think everybody should be in the know with everything that's going on. Updates, auditions. Hey, they're hiring for build here, or if you want an opportunity to scare, there's there. Here are all your different options here in Southern California.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's awesome.
And before Sinister Point, I absolutely was in love with HHN. I was in love with Scary Farm, and I'm like, as the years went on, I love covering these events because I love these events and I love the people that work the events, and I love sharing behind the scenes stuff and giving these shout outs to all these amazing people that work these events because they bring the magic to life, and they're all amazing.
So, okay, we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I know you guys put in your notes that you've been doing Knott's Network for 10 years. You came in 3 years after that, Mary, but you're also now ambassadors for Knott's Berry Farm. How did that come to be? Like, if you can tell us the story of that.
The scoop.
Yeah.
What's the scoop?
I mean, I think they started. I'm trying to remember when they started the ambassador thing. It's been a few years ago.
It was for the 100th anniversary.
No, like originally they had something before that,
Yeah.
like the whole
the
ambassador
Berry
program.
Bloggers. It was called Berry Bloggers before
Yeah,
the ambassador.
I think it started like maybe I want to say a few years after Knott's Network started, but we didn't get into it until there's a lot of different kinds of bloggers that go to the media events. There's like I don't know what to call that group, but
Just
there's
different demographics.
there's different demographics. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
And
I
a
got-
lot of
bunch.
and,
I've gone to one of them, and it was really interesting.
yeah, the media events, like
Mhm.
yeah, you're like, well, where are they from, and what are they from, and what are
Yeah.
their kind of
Everybody's vlog and blog has a different focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
everybody does things differently or different way, or their audience likes certain things more.
Yeah.
I feel our audience is more into what's going on at the park, like updates, especially during Scary Farm. They love those.
Yeah.
Everybody goes crazy.
But
What?
they a lot of them asked like, why don't you guys do it? Why don't you guys do it? You know, and so we tried it, and there we are. We're ambassadors now.
We
That's awesome.
joined in for the hunt.
Did Knott's offer that? It's like, hey, you guys want to be ambassadors, or just
No, we pretty much just applied for it. They don't really.
Got
I think I don't know. I feel like they're very. It's
You have
confusing.
to have a-
They're kind of quiet with us. Like they love us, and they let us just do our own thing because they don't want us to change. Maybe I don't know. It feels like that kind of.
Yeah. I know
Gotcha.
you have to have a certain amount of followers or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or a really good relationship with the park.
Gotcha.
That was one of the other things they wrote down. They have been changing the numbers a lot on that, though.
Really? So okay,
Yeah.
things are constantly evolving and whatnot. But I have been seeing your updates on the new diner that's getting put up over there by marketing
Yeah,
or by the entertainment
cool.
office.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool to see. It's like they completely gutted it down to the steel.
right. I mean, at least they're getting away with remodel then, so they don't have to completely rebuild.
Exactly.
That's nice.
It's not a new build. It's a
Yeah, like the Boardwalk Barbecue, that was a completely new build. So, but that's
Right.
even then nice. I think they're because of how popular the park is getting lately. I think the route they're going more that route with the cafe style because it's just faster. Every
Yeah.
time we go and there's like a line for everything, I just go, let's just go to Boardwalk Barbecue because it takes like under 10 minutes to get your food.
To get his favorite meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like at this point, I'm like, we go there so much. If there's lines, we're like, oh God, I don't want to stand in another line. Like if the
Right.
rides have lines, it's like, yeah, we'll go when there's, we'll go on those things when there's like a dead day or something.
Well, it's
But-
different. It's different when you have like a season pass, or
Yeah.
like when I lived down there and we had Disney passes. Like we would literally just go to Disney, walk the park, and leave.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
we do that
and-
a lot. We barely even go on the rides anymore.
Yeah, we would like there would be months we wouldn't go on the rides. It's just the ambiance of it, and just to kind of get the walk. It's different now. Disney's lost their mind
Yeah.
now, but it's totally
Yeah.
different. But like we've gone to Knott's a couple times this year, once, but we're going back next month, and it's when we went during COVID, I was blown away. The cleanliness, I was so blown away by Knott's, and I think my love for the park grew a lot more since then because they've maintained it. It just feels pleasant. It kind of feels like you
Yes.
feel like when you go to Disneyland. It's just that cleanliness. That's how I feel when I go to Knott's now. Same thing when we go to Great America. We have Great America up here. That's how we feel. We love that park. That park is phenomenal. I don't know if you guys have been there.
Not yet.
Oh, you gotta
Hoping
go.
soon.
You got to go.
Soon. I have gone to Discovery Kingdom up there though.
Discovery Kingdom.
Yeah, it was. It was a few years. It was quite a while ago.
I'll give you a little insight. We went during COVID. I canceled my membership. We left.
Okay.
I canceled it. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. When I went, they were decorating for Fright Fest, so I don't know. It just looked like a Six Flags park to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the one in Texas. It was Fiesta, Texas, and it was. I mean, it just looked like another Six Flags park, really.
You go for the thrills.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
Yeah, like we go to Discovery Kingdom for the animals, and we don't do the thrill rides. We do all the rides for the kids. They love it. That's all that we care about. But when it comes to like Great America, any Cedar Fair, really, I have such a high respect for Cedar Fair now because they just took it to a whole new level, and I think it's great. So if you guys come to Great America, please let me know. would love
Oh,
to
yeah.
join with you guys and have a great day there.
Yes.
That'd be a lot of fun. So
I don't know if you guys know, but yeah, he lives like 8 hours away from us.
Yeah.
I just figured that out because he's like, yeah, we're up in here. My park is California's Great America. I'm like, okay.
well, I'm still 2 hours from Great America. We're an hour
man.
from Discovery Kingdom and about 2.5 hours from Great America.
That's like us for Six Flags. It takes us about 2.5 hours to get to Magic Mountain.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I did that on this haunt season. I did it on a Friday, and I left my house about 11:15ish.
The traffic.
It took me 2.5 hours to get to the hotel. You know, I was like, this is ridiculous.
It's just so far.
So, in case you're wondering why I'm not in LA anymore. There you go.
Yeah, it's the distance and then the traffic. That's the best part.
But
It's always the same. It's the same thing when going to Reign of Terror for any of their off-season events. It's like, oh, the journey.
You know,
like
I met the owners of Reign of Terror at Transworld this past week. I just got back last night.
Yes.
And they have an event coming up in April.
Yes.
So
April
like, you gotta come
22nd.
out. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get out there.
their haunt's dope. I like it.
It is.
yeah.
It's long. It's
That's what I
super,
hear. I need
it's
something
super
that's
long.
gonna scare me again because that hasn't happened in so many years. I've lost track.
Yeah, it's
I
I
super.
can't even get startled.
It's crazy because
Scott.
like.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
keep
go ahead,
going.
Mary. Go ahead. Yours is more important.
Scott, have you ever done Transworld? I'm sorry. So Reign of Terror?
No,
No, you totally should. It's amazing.
no, I never have the opportunity to because I'm always busy with the season, so I can't get away. But this last year, I should have taken this last season to do it, but I went to Knott's 3 times and I went to Magic Mountain 3 times.
But they always do an off-season event every single year.
I know. I
Where
don't have
whether
my
it be in
favorite-
February, whether it be in April, whether it be in like January, they do like one thing every year.
Okay, I got to stay on top of that. But now, even more so that I've met them, they're like, you have to come out. And my cousin's really good friends with them too. He's like, dude, you got to go.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, their event's cool. Their monsters
Yeah.
are great. Are they still in the mall?
Yes.
Awesome.
Jan's Marketplace, but they did move their location within the marketplace, so they're not in that same, where the.
You wouldn't even know though. It's still awesome.
Yeah.
That's all that
I mean,
matters.
like it doesn't even. You wouldn't even know they moved. Everything looks still cool. And
Yes.
Like everything, like they pretty much kind of set it up the same, the queue and everything, which is
Nice.
another cool part. The indoor queue area.
Yeah.
That's a cool part because as you're waiting, you get to look at stuff.
Yeah, it's cool because when I was working in Chicago a couple years back, I went to 13th floor out there, and their queue reminded me of Reign of Terror. I was like, oh, this is really cool because it's indoors. They have the monsters there. It was really cool. It just
Yeah,
puts you into the world,
Yes,
which is
gets you
rad.
pumped up too.
Yeah.
See, I like that. When you get immersed more into it, it makes it more effective.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's just-
I'm sorry, Tim. Go for
No,
it.
it's okay. It works.
No, I was going to move on to another question, but
Let's go on. Move on.
let's let's talk about so Mary, let's talk about the different haunts that you have worked.
Yes.
Go through the list. Let's do a list.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
So we got Sinister Point check.
yeah,
Check.
there's a couple on here. I don't know what they are. What Christmas Fear? What's Christmas?
Oh, that's
Fear?
Sinister Point. So the way I put it on
Gotcha.
that list for you, I put Sinister Point, and then I put all the different haunts and events done by Sinister Point underneath
Gotcha.
Sinister Point.
Okay. The way that it formatted it doesn't look like that. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh.
I'm like, wow, you.
Not your fault.
It's not your
I'm
fault.
so sorry.
It's not your
your
fault.
fault,
It's the
it's the
form.
format.
The stupid form.
So what so Sinister Point, not only did they do their haunted attraction during the haunt season, but they also would open up their haunted attraction and make it all Christmas-fied for Christmas Fear.
Okay.
And Christmas Fear, it was less scary and more raunchy. It like super raunchy. Like Tim, tell them about the snowballs and your special surprise the year you were Christmas Fear.
snowballs? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you have,
they're-
did you have yellow snowballs?
No, they weren't yellow. That would have been funny, actually. That whole thing would have filled in with it too, actually, because people basically they repurposed the one of the rooms that was from the regular haunt, and there was like this sled thing, and people got on it, and we pushed it down the room, and as we were pushing it down, at least one or two other monsters would throw snowballs at them.
Oh, okay.
And I also had I don't know what to properly call it on the internet.
A phallus?
A phallus?
It's a fake phallus.
Yeah, a phallus.
A phallic something or other.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want on this.
It was a
podcast.
decent size.
Okay, a dildo.
It was decent size
There
too.
you go.
It was decent size too. Well, because
Did-
Barry told me before
Oh,
they
yeah.
had a dildo that got passed around the rooms.
Yes!
I was like, dude, I am totally gonna go buy one.
Back in
I'm like,
at the location.
and
that
I
you
would
see.
just like, like.
Oh my gosh.
I would
Oh,
just come out
man.
like the way it was set up too is I was behind, like they would come into this room and they would have a choice of where to go, and I would just come out of the curtain with holding it in my hand like a casual and not even paying attention to it. And then if they would look at it, I go, "Oh, you like this? I found it in Mrs. Claus's, drawer." I'd
Oh.
say stuff like that. And there was
That's
one
so
time where
cool.
these girls were like, they had their like cleavage out, and I just came out and went boop boop boop. On and the other guy was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Hey man, they're doing that. Is that what they wanted?"
Oh my
And
goodness.
fun fact, he did this room with Ed Cobb.
Yeah, Ed did help me out one night or two. I think it was one night. It was
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
God.
Yeah, that sounds
This,
like something Ed would enjoy.
Yeah, it was funny because like there was one point where I came into the room and there was already a guest sitting on the sled, and I was like, "What are you doing out here?" And she saw the dildo and just lost it and just started running down the hall like, "Hey, where are you going? Where are you going?" And I would chase her with.
Oh my gosh, that's
And then
funny.
he said it just looked like Scooby Doo because there was like these doors on the end of the room that just like would go back. We were going like back and forth constantly because she didn't know where to go. So
Dude, that's funny.
it was fun time. It was fun scaring because it was, we're just screwing off really, and at
So,
the
yeah.
same
Threw it
time,
off with a dildo.
yeah.
That's different. Scaring people with the dildo.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just surprisingly what people actually get scared of it. It's like God, it's just.
Well, I mean, people will
You
get
should've-
scared of a freaking chicken tender.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and then some people are just like, I'm like, cool.
You
No,
should have
I
put
see how
some.
you are.
Too is bath towels. People get scared of bath towels. Like, I'm not even kidding. Back in the day, I
Napkins?
worked with a guy that napkins. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you like pretended to like snot all over it and then just throw it on them, that kind of thing would work.
Oh, I would run away screaming.
Yeah, because I've actually somebody did that in my classroom once, and he like was just constantly pretending he was like snotting on this like huge rag, and then he all of a sudden just threw it to the guy. It was quiet, the class. He was the class clown. He also just tossed it to the guy next to him, laughing. The guy just jumped off the seat.
Oh my god.
And went, ah! And it was like the best thing on earth.
That's so rad.
You should have
But
threw
it's just-
some KY on that thing.
On the dildo. Yeah.
We had a
Yeah.
we had a guy at Haunt who had a long nose, and people would always grab it. They would always
Heckler?
it was Heckler, right?
Was it Heckler?
I think it was. It might have,
I think Heckler had a long nose.
Really
yeah, I
long
think
nose?
it
He
was.
did, but I think that was before that guy was before his time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeremy's referring to.
And he got so sick of people grabbing his nose, so he put KY on it. Nobody would touch it. Nobody would
Yeah.
touch it.
Because they'd see it all shiny.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily nobody tried to like grab it from me or anything, at least. But,
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
To be
like
honest.
I don't know, like nobody, like most of the time people were nervous, probably like because they were wondering where it's been.
That's true.
I think that's probably the whole scary factor of it, I guess.
Yeah. With the fact that you guys were able to get away with that is pretty.
Oh yeah, I mean, I asked Jeff. I'm like, hey man, is it cool if I bring a dildo? I'll wash it every night. I won't, it won't get dirty. I promise. I'm like, I won't stick it in people's mouths or anything
He's
like
like,
that.
okay.
Yeah, he just said okay. I'm like, I promise it will work.
That's so funny.
It worked out. I mean, I just was, yeah. I don't know what I was doing with it, but it worked out a lot.
Mary's sitting there thinking, God, you are too excited over this dildo thing.
Yeah.
No, that's why I brought brought it up. I'm like, oh, this is a great story, Tim. Tell them.
That is a great story, actually.
Yeah, it is.
So I saw that you got casted, Mary, by the one and only Adam Jessifex. Can you tell us about that? Tell us your experience with that.
Okay. Here's my exciting time. Okay, so
Let's get your happy story.
yes. So one of the big things I love about being a scare actor is being transformed into a monster, whether it be a mask, but I really love like full-on prosthetics, layers of makeup, like being airbrushed and all that stuff. I like the transformation process. And then when I was Bloody Mary, getting my hair all teased up, like I love being monster-fied,
Right.
And I have a great admiration for makeup artists and special effects makeup artists, and all these years I one of the processes I've been really intrigued by is life casting and and how they can make all these cool stuff with like life casting. And as Knott's Network, we filmed life casting for the making of Scary Farm masks, and how they life cast on several scare actors and how they make masks based on their molds and everything. And that's something I is on my major bucket list as a scare actress or as a monster performer, to have a life cast and done, and that's something I've always wanted to do. And then one day Adam and Jess posted, hey, we're looking for a model to do a female model to for our prop line to do a live cast. I'm like, yes, please pick me.
That's
it's
so
something
cool.
I've always wanted to do, and it's one of my bucket list things as a scare actor / monster to do. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And honestly, the experience was so, it was enriching. I got to go through the experience, and I have an understanding of what it is to go through the layers and layers of live casting materials.
The whole process.
Yes.
Did they give you a copy?
Not yet.
Okay. Have you seen anything that they've done with it?
Yes, they made several severed head props. It's all on their Instagram.
Yeah.
And there's one where there's candy in the head, and then it's so cool.
Yeah, I saw you on the shelf at Transworld.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got to get them to get you a resin copy
Yes.
and put it up in your room.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm working on that
They
too.
did one for me, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah.
Somewhere,
They casted me too
somewhere.
in the very beginning when they first started.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, do you want to come out and get casted? I'm like, yeah. So, and now I just look at all the stuff they put out every year.
They're
They're
good.
amazing. They're so talented.
Yeah. Adam is he's very dedicated. He's very talented, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Those two
killed it at
together too.
Transworld this year apparently. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're both really good. I finally got to meet Jess, which was cool. I met her at Awaken the Spirits. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. So I wanted to get the scoop and find out, how that happened, and and your experience, because it definitely is an experience. It's kind of cool to go under. It's actually I prefer the alginate because it's minty and it's cool and makes you. It's almost like getting a facial.
Feels good.
Yeah, but
Feels
it does. It feels great. But the way they
Yeah.
do it now, it's depending on cost, obviously. But a lot of people like to use the silicone route, which is it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your turn, Tim. You got to do that.
Yeah, I know. I haven't done that. When I was watching, I don't know. I've seen it done a few times. I mean, I could probably do it. Maybe.
Well, here's the thing. So I've been live casted 4 times, and every time I've been live casted, I've fallen asleep because it's so relaxing, right? So Jeremy, when he did a custom fit mask for me, we did a full live cast down to my top of my chest, and I was passed out because I was so relaxed. And apparently I was doing this, wobbling, right? Because I was sleeping, super relaxed. And then the guy that was assisting him wakes me up. Bad idea.
Oh, I bet.
Because once he woke me up, instant anxiety. And I'm like this.
Yo, get it out. Gotta get it off.
Get it off, get it off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not time yet, dude.
It was, yeah, but like, if it's just your face, that's cake.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
But like the whole, yeah, that's gotta be.
I did whole head all the way to my shoulders.
Yeah.
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 You just have to stay relaxed and you're good, you know, but it was, I tried. I was like trying to breathe and I'm like, this is not happening right now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's such an honor to do that with them.
Yeah.
Okay. What other events have you worked?
Well, we did the hunt. Back in the day, Sinister Point used to do this thing called the hunt, and it was an event where it was like a scavenger hunt all throughout Southern California, like at the Queen Mary, you would have to go to Turnbull Canyon, and then you could also go to a random hotel, or you go to
Wow.
at Turnbull Canyon they would bury you in the ground in a coffin
Oh wow.
and put dirt on the coffin.
No way.
And then in the hotel they would you had to like dig for pieces, like puzzle pieces, all like paper, like photos like around, and you had to dig through a dead body, and then you had to get the puzzle pieces to get that to achieve that task. And then there was also a pet cemetery one, and then there was also like different ones also or all throughout Southern California. Me, since I was still like I was like 17. They said, Mary, you go to the park and you have like the tools that they'll need for the adventure. I'm like, okay, cool. So I would just be at the park with the tools, and I'd be waiting for people to start running at me, you know, like, hey guys, here you
The
go.
majority of what you guys have done has been Sinister Point, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure. Like
Okay.
loyalty or something. I don't know. It's just
There's nothing wrong with that. When you
No,
find a
not at all.
home, that's where you want to stay.
it's the rapport to it. It's just easy. Like we know them and now, so
Yeah.
they know us and they
But, you
they know what we can do and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's good.
And loyalty is great and everything. You find a home, but in 2020 when everything was shut down, right?
Yeah.
So as things started opening up again, 2021, half of my team at Queen Mary, I'm like, well, you guys got to decide what you want to do because Dark Harbor's not opening again. I go, now's the time, and it was early. I said, now's the time to start looking online and see what's available for you and get your applications in now. Don't miss the window again.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them went to KSF and they loved it, and
Yes.
I'm super stoked for them, but downside is I might lose them.
Yeah, if they
But
want to
again-
stay there, yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm okay with that because they enjoyed it, and that's what it's about. It's not about, first and foremost, it's about you having a good time doing what you're doing. This, loyalty is in there, the top 3 or 4 for me as well, but you got to have fun what you're doing so you can be the best you can be.
Yes.
You can always find people to fill places, maybe not as good, but to fill gaps.
The second time we did the hunt, if you want to know, Tim was Krampus. And so they had to hunt down and capture Tim as the last stop.
Yeah, and I wasn't the real Krampus, so I made it easy for them. It's like I would just, it was kind of, we kept getting in trouble.
We got in trouble
Because
because
so-
one time
Krampus.
we went to a park and Tim's like running all over the jungle gym
Yeah.
in this Krampus outfit, and here comes security. Hey,
You
what are
can't-
you doing?
What are you guys doing? You can't be doing this there.
All right. But the first rule of being a scare actor, if you don't get in trouble, you're not a scare actor.
Ask for
Absolutely
forgiveness,
true.
not permission.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yep. I think that's a saying that not only applies to scare acting. I've heard it doing in the film industry too. Beg for forgiveness. Don't ask for
Ask for
permission.
forgiveness.
Ask for forgiveness. Yeah.
Guerrilla style. Yeah. It's I've had to ask for forgiveness a few times. Sorry, Knots. We're giving away secrets here. That's the thing is like Scott and I have had this discussion. It's like Knots is either gonna love what we do or they're gonna hate what we do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so you have a few things. Let's talk about the coverage you guys do of the events. Scare LA, Midsummer, Haunt X. Like, what are the things you guys focus on when you go there? What are the main things you want to cover at those shows?
Is it okay if I pause real quick?
Pause. Unpause. Okay. Okay. Game off. Game on.
Play ball.
Decay Brigade. How did it come about? You guys becoming the videographers?
As they knew us as Knott's Network, and so we would be covering all like Midsummer Scream, Scare LA, and they would be performing at Scare LA and Midsummer Scream. And as Knott's Network, we cover everything that's going on at the convention.
Right.
And so we would film the shows and then portion the way my editing style, the way I like to edit event videos like that is like I don't like to go, okay, and this is this, that is that. I like to make it like a fun event overview montage where it's like, oh, here's this, there's that, there's this, there's that, there's this booth, there's these people dressed up as these characters, and then like we would have always a portion in there that's DK Brigade and like cuts of their sliding and of their shows. And we would film. I have footage of almost every single year of DK Brigade, except for the very first year.
Yeah, when they weren't Decay Brigade yet.
When they weren't DK Brigade
Yeah.
yet, when it was the Scary Farm Sliders, a mix of everybody. Oh, there's a Carnival Clown. There's a Ghost Town Monster.
There's a monkey.
There's a monkey.
It's crazy.
That was like before when they could like, play with their characters outside the parks.
And so a couple of them were like, yeah, do you want to cover our shows and like film stuff for us? And we're like, yeah, let's do it.
That's cool.
Let's do it. It's an honor to do that for them because we love DK Brigade.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, they're. I've said this before. They back when we did the first Sliders Unite in 2016, and then when they were doing their shows, they helped bring sliding more to the forefront of the haunted attraction industry. It's always been there, but it didn't get as much exposure until they came along. So, I'll always give props to them for that. Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'm from that world, so you got to give credit where credit's due. So when you do that, like when you do all these other things, like as Jeremy was saying, it's like, how do you pick what you want to cover? It's like, oh, you see all these different things, like, okay, we're going to cover this today, cover that today. Do you have it like in your mind in the order you want to do it, or?
So the way we do coverage, let's use Midsummer Scream as an example, okay? When doing, because each event is a different animal. Like we won't cover a haunt the same way as we would cover Midsummer Scream, and we won't cover Midsummer Scream the same way we would cover a Knott's media event.
Right.
And so for like Midsummer Scream, for example, we go, okay, we make our way through the convention. We film the different booths, and then whenever we see someone dressed up in a cool costume, we film them, and then we interview people who are willing to be interviewed. It's like, do you want to be interviewed? Yes or no? So
Do you guys get no's?
yes,
Really?
absolutely.
That's
okay.
so crazy.
I don't blame them. I was shy of the camera too.
We're gonna pause.
You can even tell when you're editing these videos. You can tell when they're shy because they're just like
Pause.
and then you have to like edit it the whole. You're like, okay, I got to get rid of all these ums.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What age were you when you first went to Scary Farm?
That would be 2011. So, so when I first wanted to go to haunts, it was 2009. I was like, I want to go to HHN. I want to go to HHN so bad. But my mom was like, no, you're too young. And so 2010 rolled around. I went to HHN for the first time. I want to say I was like 14.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
And then I went to Scary Farm for the first time.
That's what that reminded me of. And
2011.
So okay,
I went
so
to Scary-
HHN was your first haunt, Mary?
Major haunt. And I will never forget the summer before going to summer 2009. No, summer of 2010. I'm sorry, I'm getting my years mixed up. Summer of 2010. Pause. Summer 2010, before going to HHN for the first time, I remember going to Universal during the summer, one day in the summer, and they had the House of Horrors. Now the House of Horrors was their year-round haunted attraction thing. I'm like, I want to do it. And so I was there with a friend and my mother. And my mother, she's like, sure. And I pre-warned her. I'm like, hey, it's going to be this maze. It's going to be fun. It's going to be this monster. And she's like, okay, cool. And then so we go in. And here's the thing. My mother, she's terrified of haunts. And she told me when she went to Scary Farm back in the 70s or the 80s or whatever, she peed her pants and was hiding
Nice.
in
Okay.
the Trails Hotel. Anywho,
she's gonna love you for telling that story now, right?
Okay, so
Pause.
and so my first time doing a haunt experience was House of Horrors. Okay, back to the story. So it's summertime, we go in, and then she screams because the first scare was that would be Dracula in Renfield, and she's like, what is this? And my friend, they didn't like it either, and so they're both holding on to me, screaming. I'm like, this is the best thing ever, and they're just screaming and I can't do it. And then I'm like, yeah, I definitely gotta go to HHN. And so when I went to HHN, that hot season of 2010, my very first scare ever was they had sliders still back then.
Yes.
And first scare, whoosh, a slider right as I entered into the turnstile. And my uncle's like, okay, we're gonna go home now. It's like, no. And that night, I absolutely loved everything about HHN. I loved because I'm a horror fanatic, and I was able to go through the Nightmare on Elm Street maze and come face to face with Freddy Krueger, and then I love that there was vampires and that there's monsters, and it was immersive, and I felt like I was transported into these horror films, and the terror tram was Chucky, and Chucky was dancing to 50 Cent, and then I'm like, this is just so amazing. And you walk the back lot and there's monsters, and it was just amazing. I loved it. I'm like, and that's when I knew, I'm like, oh, I gotta get into this. I gotta not only keep going as a guest, but I want to be a monster in the future.
Yeah. So we've had. I'm sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's where your inspiration is coming from. Then that's good to know.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jeremy.
So
what do you say?
we've had several discussions talking about the differences between Knott's Scary Farm and Universal specifically. Different opinions with different people and stuff. You're going to be a prime candidate for this, okay? Yeah. Because I have my thoughts when it comes to Universal. And then obviously I have the love for haunt. I want to know what it is that you love. Well, you clearly just kind of explained what it is that you love so much about Horror Nights. Can you give us your differences between Scary Farm and Horror Nights, and how you look at it as a guest?
Would you
Does that make sense?
Would you like me to go? Yeah, I understand the question. Would you like me to go first? Because Tim's excited too.
No, yeah, whoever's the most excited, let's get it.
Okay.
She wins.
I'm starting to, but before we continue, I'm starting to see less and less of Tim. I'm seeing half.
I know. I keep disappearing.
Okay, pause. Tim's cracking me up. If you're seeing me laugh, he is cracking me up because he keeps doing this whole like.
I'm trying to figure out where it works the best.
At first, I thought you were just.
And Tim keeps going like this.
At first, I thought you were just trying to like.
Get over.
I thought you were just
I'm
trying
fine.
to make us laugh, while Mary's
Maybe.
telling her story, but
Maybe.
it's just so you don't get keyed out. Okay, Mary, go for it.
Let me establish the answer to this question with I love all the haunts in Southern California. Every single haunt has their own take on horror and Halloween and the way they present that through their art form.
Mm-hmm.
Each one will be different in presentation. Now, with Halloween Horror Nights at the Universal Studios Hollywood, its whole focus is the movies and the monsters in the movies. Jigsaw, Jason, Freddy, Chucky, the Universal classic monsters. I love that Universal can take you and put you into those worlds, and it's just like I'm in the movie, you know, and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm in Insidious, and even they take music IPs like Alice Cooper, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm in Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare, and it's like, and I absolutely love, or I'm in The Thing, I'm in American Werewolf in London, like I absolutely love. And just the quality, everything is movie quality.
Right.
Now, I understand that people's concerns with Universal is black walls.
What?
Originality. Lack of originality. Now, my answer to the lack of originality is the whole purpose of HHN is to put you in the movies, to put you in The Walking Dead, to put you in the world of the Universal classic monsters. Like, I want to be in those worlds. And the original mazes that they do, like La Llorona, El Cucuy, those worlds are created so amazingly too, with the same amount of love as for the movie.
Was awesome. La Llorona was so awesome. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love that maze.
It's okay, and the energy that Horror Nights has, it's electric.
Yes.
It's heart pounding. I will tell you this right now, with no shame. No shame at all. Halloween Horror Nights at the Universal Studios Hollywood is the only haunted attraction that I've experienced in Southern California and in Florida that has made me pee my pants and drop to the ground totally.
Wow.
The only haunt.
Really?
Ever to make me absolutely drop. And I'm pretty easy to scare. People are like, oh my gosh, I made you jump. It's like, I will jump at loud noises, but here's the thing, can you get me to the ground?
Yeah.
Can you make me pee my pants?
Yeah.
Like that was an American Horror Story maze, Roanoke, that made me do that. I'm like, I'll pee.
Oh my gosh.
I dribbled in my pants.
In my pants. So like, yeah, I will always love, no matter how it has changed throughout the years. I will always love Universal because Universal is my first major haunted attraction I've attended as a guest. And Universal's Halloween Horror Nights is the reason I'm in the haunt community and that I found community in the first place. If it wasn't that group of HHN fans I first got together with, I'm so grateful for that group, because if it weren't for that group, I wouldn't know about Sinister Point. I wouldn't know of really gotten into Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, because we all went together to Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, and then we all done Scary Farm together, and then we've all hey, let's check out the other let's all go to Six Flags together. If it weren't for that group of people, I would not be with Tim today. I would not be Knott. I wouldn't know I wouldn't be where I am today, and I am grateful for having those experiences, for that changed my life. Horror Nights essentially changed my life. And with that being said, I'm now moving on to Scary Farm. Scary Farm, I absolutely adore the amount of love that goes into that event, the monsters, the originality, how each maze is just a whole new nightmare. When I experienced Doll Factory for the first time, I was like, wow. When I experienced just like Pinocchio and Strong, I was like, wow. And then Trick or Treat, wow. Like, and then as the years go on, Paranormal Inc., wow. Just Voodoo, wow. Every single maze amazes me.
Wow.
And the Scare Zones is just incredible.
Wow.
Wow. Like,
Wow.
and the thing with Scary Farm, not only their originality, but not Scary Farm is the first and the biggest haunt, and they are not afraid to take things to the next level. Trapped will always be one of my favorite mazes ever.
Trapped was cool.
Ever. And it's not, they're like, how can we take things to the next level? Not Scary Farm has made several of my haunt dreams come true. With the Haxons performing on stage, that has always been like, oh, like little me over here twiddling my thumbs. Oh, in my dream haunt, I would love my favorite rock and rollers to perform too, because rock and haunts go together like this. And here they are on the stage rocking out. And then they've also brought the Jim Henson Company to perform at Scary Farm? What? I absolutely love puppets. I love the Jim Henson Company. I'm like, my mind was blown up. Like, two things that I absolutely love are together in one place. And then Elvira, they incorporate the love of not only Halloween and haunt, but also horror too. And it's like not just always like bigger, like they're always thinking, how can we evolve and how can we take haunting to the next level? And I love that.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, Tim, you're on deck, brother.
Tim kind of left for a second. I don't know where he went.
Oh, so he's literally gone this time.
I'm willing to keep on going with this sentiment.
You know, it's funny, as you mentioned the Haxons.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware, but Ash Costello was a very talented character.
Yes, I knew that. And she was on the 2011 map, correct?
I believe so.
Yes.
Like my favorite character she did was the butcher and the butcher's wife in Ghost Town. Amazing character. Amazing character.
I absolutely love rock and roll, and this could be totally on record. I absolutely love rock and roll, and I love seeing the spooky rock and rollers being incorporated into haunted attractions like Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, and then here comes Ash Costello, and here comes John Cook to bring the oomph to haunted attractions.
Hey,
and
there's Tim.
Hey, look, here's Tim.
He returns.
I would love to go see her. I would love to see a concert. I would love to see Ghost perform at Haunt. Oh my god.
Very, very
I love Ghost.
Dude, their new album is phenomenal.
Oh, yes,
Phenomenal. I am like, it has been on repeat for me since the release. And not to mention the first 3 singles have been on repeat. I have became a fan of Ghost since this album. I've heard their music and I was just like, oh, it's cool. First, I don't know what it is about this album, man, but it is a piece. It's a masterpiece.
Okay,
But
I'm the odd man out because I haven't even heard it.
Oh my god,
You need to listen
It's phenomenal.
to Ghost right now, Scott Dieterman.
it's so good, so good. And it's
You
funny
want to
because
hear something?
yeah, I
something
do.
cute.
What?
Tim is the one who introduced me to Ghost.
Nice.
When we first started talking, he's like, "Mary, you should listen to the song Cerise." And I listened, and I was like, "This is amazing!" And then the first time we saw Ghost was together in haunt season of 2016 at the Wiltern in LA.
Nice.
And let me tell you, seeing spooky performers like rock and rollers during haunt season, it just adds a whole nother level to the show.
No, it really does. It's so crazy because like when I get into a group, I like to learn about the group, about the artist. I go through their bio, I go through everything, and the one thing that impresses me about Ghost is that they're not a band. It's literally just the head guy, which I don't know his name. Sorry, but
Tobias Forge.
Tobias Forge. Thank you. It's him.
You're welcome.
He changes the band pretty much. He hires artists essentially. He's smart. He's a brilliant dude. Like he writes everything. He produces and writes a good majority of the songs, and he just hires the bands. Like, and it's cool that they do the masks. Like there was apparently one concert where a dude from Foo Fighters was playing the drums, and
It makes sense why they all wear masks then.
yeah, there was a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I also love how there's like a whole backstory going on and a lore that keeps building with album per album, and the episodes that they post on YouTube is just great. Like like how all the papas connect with each other, and then Papa Neely, and then here comes Cardinal Copia, and then there's a thing between Papa Neely and Sister Imperator, and it's like, ooh, that drama, and then it's like, oh, could Copia be their kid? And then it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's Calm Me Little Sunshine is
So good.
my favorite song right now, at this moment right now, is I always have to Watcher in the Sky.
Oh, that's a good one.
My
That's a
favorite
good
song.
one.
Okay, you guys, I'm just gonna totally stop you guys here because you realize that we're so far off tangent now. I don't even remember the question that Tim needs to answer.
It's horror related.
I remember. Don't worry, guys. I remember the question. I'll rephrase it to Tim.
We're gonna have to have you guys on, and we'll just talk about Ghost the whole time.
I got theories. I got all sorts of love over here for Ghost.
Mary could talk about Ghost.
I could talk about Ghost for hours, so don't tempt me. So, Timothy Dennison, the question we have for you today is Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights and Not Scary Farm. What do you think about them?
Pros and cons of
and their
each.
difference.
How do you compare them?
Yeah.
How do you
compare items?
Yes, compare us.
Okay. Well, let's see here. I always say kind of how Mary says things. They both bring something different to the plate. So, which is great because my first haunt was Scary Farm actually, and I didn't go to HHN for the first time till I think 2013, and I had a really good time. I didn't go with anybody though. I did the RIP thing, and there was this little VIP lounge and everything. And I love movies a lot. And when I haven't been to Universal in so long that I was like, God, I don't know why I don't go here that much, because I love movies. And like I saw the posters and pictures from old movies, the classic monster movies were up and everything. And it was it's just, I don't know how to like say it, but there's this like, what if you want to experience the movies, you go to Universal Studios. If you want to experience stuff that you really don't know about, originality, then you go to Scary Farm, or you go to Queen Mary's, Dark Harbor. You go to different haunts if you want to go to experience a certain kind of thing. So that's how I always thought it. When first time I went there, I go, okay, this is movies basically, which makes sense because they're Universal Studios. Most of their rides are based off of movies, or their themed lands are based off of movies or something.
A lot of IPs.
Yes. So that's what it made sense to me. Even before I went for the first time, I went and watched every movie for every maze except Walking Dead. I couldn't really catch up with everything, but at the time Walking Dead was still a thing for it. And that was before they made the permanent maze. They still had the horror, the House of Horrors there too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Before they knocked it down.
The Walking Dead still there?
You know what? It is, but they used it during HHN last year. Everything's still in there. It's almost like they just flipped the switch back on, basically.
Gotcha.
I'll find out on Friday.
Oh yeah, if it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, you guys just went, didn't you?
Well, it was there during HHN, but they don't have it open during regular season.
No, I mean you guys
operations.
just went to Universal recently, right?
Not that much, not recently. No, we went to Florida. actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the first time, and that was amazing.
So you guys are
The,
playing catch up on your videos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Oh yeah, the videos took for I mean because we were making all the scary or not scary farm ones too, so just trying to fill in. And honestly, I don't think that many people cared about the vacation videos. The only ones people did like the most were the Volcano Bay one for some reason.
Dude, Volcano Bay's rad.
But that's probably why, because it
Volcano
really
Bay
is.
That's the best water park ever.
I remember I was like, Mary, we're going another day. I'm like, it's happening. I don't care. We're figuring it out one
I
of these
was
days.
like, ah!
We did go twice the trip out there because it was I've literally never been in a water park like that. The food was good, the drinks were good, the theming, everything was cool.
I couldn't even go. I couldn't even step foot inside that park the last time I was there. I had too much work to do.
Really?
It was
Oh
crazy.
man.
Yeah, and I was staying 2 minutes away.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so funny.
Were you doing Queen Mary work down there?
No, I was actually doing SeaWorld Hollow Scream work down there.
Ah.
Hello, Screen.
So
Yeah,
I thought I mentioned that. I told you guys about that. I was sent down there to select and train their slider team.
to compare like Universal Studios Hollywood and then Orlando, I like some people are like, what? And then I'm like, no, I mean,
There's no comparison.
I really like it looks beautiful, but the monsters, I just wasn't I was like, man,
At Orlando?
yeah, Orlando monsters versus our monsters are totally different.
I wanted to love it. Everybody hyped it up. Everyone hyped it
All
up.
they were hyping up was how beautiful everything looks.
I've never
because-
been to Horror Nights there. I want to go.
Me too.
Everything looks beautiful,
Yeah.
Everything
but
looks
the
beautiful.
monsters, this is how they scare. This is how they scare. This is pure reenactment right here.
Not that dramatic, but not that
This is
dramatic.
how they scare.
I was like, did she pause?
There's an exception of some of them, but here's the difference.
And then, or they just do this.
You could go into put it this way, in a HHN out here, or even Scary Farm. If you're inside one of the shops, you'll hear screaming constantly outside.
If you watch our videos, no one's screaming.
Yeah, if you watch or barely anybody.
And that's the
screams.
honesty. That's the truth. That is the.
I'm just like, well, I guess everything looks cool, but I mean, the monsters just stuff. And then somebody told us because most of them are out there are just there for work. They're not there for
the
because they actually
passion.
like
yeah,
it.
that's a huge difference.
I'm like, okay, then that makes sense.
Like I'm like you
So
would
after hearing
fail
that,
an
I
audition
get
in
the
like 2
difference.
seconds.
But everything looks, HHN out there looks amazing though. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
And the icons are absolutely epic. I love
Yeah.
the icons. Ah!
But,
And then the mazes, like they look so pretty, and like the amount of like work they put into it, and like the storyline. I'm like, oh, this is great, man.
Yeah, their mazes are beautiful.
Yeah, just make sure you run through them, or else they'll yell
we're
at
getting
you.
off topic here. Now back to Scary Farm.
Really? They yell at you
touche, Tim.
if you don't run through?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was just
yeah.
walking at normal pace.
Their operations.
Normal pace. I would walk through any haunted attraction,
It
Scary
gets-
Farm, HHN, normal pace, normal walking pace. I got yelled at 3 times in the Beetlejuice maze. Hurry up!
It gets
Like-
so busy out. It gets insane. If people think out here is busy,
I was so
out there, like we got front of the line and it didn't even matter. It still took all night to go through every maze once.
the
Wow.
first night I was so upset, you guys. Like never have I ever been yelled at by a blackout. And then when I was venting to some of my Scary Farm friends here, I'm like, I got yelled at. And the first thing they say, "What did you do, Mary?" I'm like, I didn't do nothing.
What did you do, man?
What did you do, Mary? I'm like, I'm innocent.
That's too
I'm
funny.
innocent, Mary. Don't you know me? That's
Okay,
funny.
so Tim, you're talking about now.
Yeah, then we're going to Scary Farm. I mean, the thing at Scary Farm is they already have like the natural creepy element of Ghost Town already there.
Yes.
Yes.
Like they don't really need to do much except turn the lights off, add some darker lighting and some fog, and
The
it's
webs.
already good.
The webs.
Yeah.
Well, the webs, yeah, but honestly, if it's foggy enough, you barely even notice the webs.
True.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's different now experiencing Scary Farm though with the past. The past has definitely changed it a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember I mean, I know it's not too far long ago, but like, even before the past, I used to always go on Thursday nights. I would buy a ticket for every week. It didn't, I didn't care. I'm like, once a year, I don't care if I'm spending over $1,000 every year on this. So like, and it was fun, and I mean, it got to the point that where I knew some of the monsters and they would come up and talk to me. It's so dead. I'm like, oh God, you guys don't talk to me. You're killing it. But that's how dead it used to get. But the cool part is every monster would scare you.
Yeah.
You walk through a maze and you're getting attacked by every single monster. It's not you go through it and then you see the group get scared in front of you and you're like, oh, I missed that good scare,
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it's gotten to. I mean, it is what it is. It's not like it's changed anything. Like, it's still awesome, Scary Farm. It's just more people now, basically.
Well, especially now after the pandemic, everybody wants.
Yes.
Everybody
wants to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, everybody got an influx with, coming back to events and being able to do things, since things are starting to lighten up.
Even just regular Knott's Berry Farm is pretty much always kind of got a decent crowd going on.
It does.
Lately.
It does.
We've noticed every time we go.
That's good,
Even,
though.
It is.
It's really good for the park because, like, for a long time, Haunt was a thing that ran that park.
Oh, yeah.
And
On
it would just
Christmas.
in Christmas, yeah.
Christmas is starting to get their really good second.
Yeah.
I don't know. Summer, we don't go so much. If we do go, we try to go more towards nighttime because it's like hot. There's not much places at Knott's to beat the heat. So,
Yeah,
Right.
It's blazing hot.
Right.
so it could get pretty, like, up to 100 plus there sometimes, unless you're at Soak City. And then lately, Soak City's getting pretty crowded too. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, the park. It's kind of nice that they're building that new water park in Irvine. That should ease some
Oh yeah,
attention.
what's funny is that's a redo
rebuild.
from Wild Rivers.
Oh, I know it is. I went to the original Wild Rivers when
I loved
was
it. It was so good.
Yeah, it was fun. That's the thing. It's like, I hope nobody expects it to look like that again because it's not going to.
No, it'll
It'll be a total
better.
update.
It's just gonna be, I mean, probably basic. I mean, it's getting expensive to do things in California, so
Yeah,
for all these
ridiculous.
parks. So it's like, that's the excuse. Like, people don't get it from a business standpoint. They're thinking like, some people have joked to me about the new roller coaster in San Diego, the Emperor, how there's like very lack of theming versus their parks over in North Florida with like Busch Gardens and then their SeaWorld. And I'm like, well, I know Busch Gardens was very themed, but that was not originally SeaWorld's park. They bought that park.
Yeah.
So I don't know how themed Orlando SeaWorld is because we didn't go. I honestly wanted to kind of go because I knew that their rides were bigger. They had more roller coasters than versus ours. And they don't have the limitations like we do because apparently somebody told us it was because of the airport nearby. That's why they're not allowed to build huge roller coasters in San Diego, I guess.
And I didn't even get to see the damn park.
Oh, you were
was
just
there over a week every day. I didn't get to see.
you didn't get to look at anything. Oh, you were backstage the entire time?
Well, there was a portion where it was front stage, but we couldn't really see anything because we were in a certain area where we had to do the training.
Okay.
And then where the entrance was for Hello Scream was off on another side. It wasn't the main entrance, so we were on that side of the park more.
But yeah,
Bummer.
after going out to Florida and just living here like our whole lives, just knowing how much it costs to do things out here from even business standpoints, when you look at it, like a business goes, okay, well, let's see, it costed about, $3 to $4 million, $5 million just to build the roller coaster. Then it'll be an additional couple $100 million just to make it have clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
So they think, ride or clothes too. What are we going to do here?
Yeah.
So I get it. It's not cheap to do things in California. So
Yeah.
I wish a lot of people could understand that, but it's
Oh, they
not everybody gets
understand
it.
that. They understand it now.
Oh, I'm sure they do. When they go to the grocery store and spend over $100 just for a few things.
Yeah,
I mean, like $100 is the new $20 bill now. It's insane out here. So
So yeah.
that's another reason why we're not going to Knott's all the time because it's like, woof, let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Catch up on your edits.
Yeah, exactly.
Mary's like,
Yeah, it's true.
Go ahead, Mary.
I'm like, it's true. Especially what you said earlier on the episode, like the edit, like I'm meticulous when I edit. So it's like, Tim's like, you're taking too long. Oh my gosh, we have like 10 million videos to edit. I'm like, but I need to edit, like, it needs to be a certain way, you
Yeah.
know, it needs to be good.
Gotta tell
It
a
needs to-
story.
we both have different styles with editing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what mine is. Honestly, I just do it a certain way. I'm sure people probably could tell the difference between us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
With that said, we'll end it on there and just say we love what you do. Keep doing
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Don't
Keep
quit.
doing it.
We love doing it too. We
Just
have no
keep
reason
doing
to stop.
Nah,
We have no
there's-
reason to
yeah,
stop.
as long as you guys are having fun, you guys seem like you're enjoying it. You guys have a true passion for it, and you love the theme parks. You guys love the haunt season. Like, just keep doing it. You know,
Awesome.
it's
I
Thanks,
like
guys.
seeing you guys at all the events too.
Yeah, we enjoy
Even if
them.
it's for a minute, I always see you guys.
yeah.
We can't wait to, it's like the year is starting up, events are starting to start and stuff. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's summer is going to come up.
Mhm.
What else is coming
Yeah.
up? It's summertime at Knott's. Ghost Town Alive is coming back, actually. That would be fun to witness again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just haunt season. Yeah, like, spring is here. We could feel the warmth again. And it's like, okay, it's getting closer.
Do you forgive me if you have and I didn't see it, but do you guys cover Monster Palooza?
Yes.
We used to.
We do if we can afford to go.
Gotcha.
Pretty much. I mean,
If you look at Fright Zone, like I have lots of Monster Palooza
Yes.
content week.
Oh.
and I think there's some on Knott's Network too.
Yes,
I'm not
there
sure.
is.
But yeah, we do enjoy Monster Palooza is awesome.
I love it.
Oh my goodness, I love Monster Palooza, the art of monsters. So many good memories. I
Yeah.
could tell you, when Monster Palooza used to be at the Burbank Convention Center before it got way too big,
Mhm.
and they needed to put it into the
Pasadena, right?
Pasadena convention.
Pasadena. Thank you. I almost said Long Beach. I'm like, no, that's not right.
That's their next venture.
But I remember the days back in the day when it used to be at Burbank, and it is
The
a smaller,
Marriott, right?
yes, the
Yeah.
Marriott, and they would have the convention center, and then inside the hotel they would use like the one ballroom in there at the bottom for like panels and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember with the Sinister Point peeps, we would get a room together, and then we would go down at midnight for their horror movie screenings, and that was the first time I saw Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D.
Oh,
In
wow.
3D, in the original way you're supposed to watch it. We were so bad. We were in pajamas, and we brought down snacks. We're like, we're gonna Monster Palooza, and we're gonna watch these monster movies, and we're gonna do it with beverages and snacks. And
We used to.
and
Who cares? We used to go to Disney World in pajamas. Like, who cares?
apparently certain makeup artists care. They go, like, what? Why? It's like,
They're no
why you
fun.
care?
They're no fun.
Yeah, and just
I haven't done that yet. Pajamas at a theme park.
Yeah, it's fun. At night, it's great. People look at you weird, but you're just like, whatever.
we should do that actually one night of Haunt.
Do it.
We should do that at Haunt.
Yeah.
At Scary Farm. I would only feel comfortable doing it at Scary Farm, not at Horror Nights. Scary Farm. And then everybody would be like,
Did you just wake
It's
up?
it's just yeah. It would be if you go in the Carnival, that would be like a no-fly zone. They
Right.
would just go, oh, I got all kinds of jokes for you too.
Ironically,
Yeah.
nobody says anything. It's it's you're comfy.
Yeah.
It's you even forget half the time that you're in pajamas. It's fun. I love doing it.
yeah.
I can't wait to
Hey.
do it again.
I have a question for both you and Scott that I like to ask on every single podcast that I go on.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for this, guys? So there's this being in the haunt and horror community for so long, everybody differs in what they like, So as I see in your background, you got Michael Myers, you got different horror, you got Jason there, you got different horror film masks, and Dieterman, I see it's mostly just haunt in your background. For me personally, I love haunted attractions, I love horror movies, and I love Halloween. And I was curious, I'm like, because as I talk to different people, some people who love Scary Farm and love haunts, they don't like horror movies at all, and it just like it terrifies them. They can't do it. Or some of my friends that love horror films, they can't do the haunts because haunts is just too visceral. It puts them like in distress, in a distressing environment. They can't do it, and so I put a poll, say, hey guys, what's your combo? Like, what do you like? Like, do you like haunts and not like horror movies? Do you like Halloween and not like either haunts or horror movies? Like, what's your combo? And the response I got back from that was like incredible because everybody was different. And it was amazing to see how each and every person differed. Me, I'm all three. I love each of them with a freaking passion. What is your combo?
Scott?
Well, for me, I like all of it. I love Halloween. I love horror. I've loved it since I was a kid. But the way my office is set up is nostalgia, and it's based off of all the things I've done in my life. Like this corner that you see, it's not done yet. There's some stuff missing, but all the stuff that you see is up on the wall now is all haunt related. Like this right here. This was from Tim. It's funny because this was your first year coming to Knott's.
Yes.
And this is my first year in Ghost Town in '96, and I made the LA Times. Right there, that big picture. That's me before I got put into makeup. And then I have my a couple of pictures of my pyro character, but I don't want to turn the camera. But there's other stuff in my office where I collect some Funko Pops. I have that. I have some of my skate industry stuff, my snowboarding stuff, and stuff like that. So, but I'm still building the office, so it's not done yet. But yeah, as far as horror haunt, I love it all. It's great.
And Halloween?
Yes, I love Halloween. So my first always trick-or-treating when I was a kid, but my first haunting type thing was me and my dad put together a front yard haunt when I was 16 years old. And I had brought in some kids from my classes, and we went out there and did our thing and chased cars in the neighborhood.
Always fun. That makes Halloween fun.
Yep.
Mine's
Jeremy?
simple. I like anything dark, artistic, with a good story.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. So that is pretty much everything. Haunt, horror. Yeah.
I can't say that I'm drawn to, like he was saying, dark things, but for whatever reason, demon and Satan type characters.
That you'd like ghosts, Scott?
Well, I like some of their music, just not all of it.
I understand.
So,
I thought you said you haven't listened to Ghosts. I'm sorry, I
not
misunderstood.
the new
you.
album.
The new album.
Yeah. So.
Yep. I like anything scary with a good story. Character development is my biggest thing. Like the new Joker film is a masterpiece to me. That is like a prime example of like when you mix in darkness with psychological and a good story and great character development. That's it. Like that's me to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good question, though. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, and that's great because like we usually don't get the questions.
Yeah.
So,
before we actually wrap this up, you guys I know you guys have the Knott's Network IG account. You guys want to plug your other social media accounts? Anything like that? It's totally up to you guys. You don't have to. You can just totally plug the Knott's Network one.
Yeah.
You guys' call.
I mean, Knott's Network can be found anywhere. YouTube, Facebook. There's forums on Facebook called Knott's Network Forums, and then we're on TikTok too, and then Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
nice.
But
Mary's spacing out.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening.
All right. Well, with that said, we will end the episode here. You guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
I'm
Much
fully
appreciated.
grateful, and Scott is too. So we really appreciate it, and hopefully we get you guys back on, talk some ghosts, talk just anything, haunt related or whatever you guys want to talk about, because this was a lot of fun.
I am so down. Thank you so much.
a lot of fun.
Absolutely, guys.
So, all right, guys, viewers, thank you for watching. As usual, like and subscribe and share this with your friends, and we will see you on the next.
Smash the like
Oh yeah. yeah, I forgot.
that like
Smash
button.
that like button. Scott
Yeah.
likes to say that. Smash the
And-
like button.
And smash the subscribe.
Smash
for
the subscribe.
More great chats about hot, sad, horror, and
That's
all
right.
that stuff.
Go follow Knott's Network, and yeah. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.
Good night.